Hello, and thank you for joining this demonstration of the failover capabilities provided by Carbonite Availability. We address the typical challenges like compliance, continuity without data loss, and dependency on IT environment. We provide byte-level real-time replication to enable RPO within minutes with failover process independent of storage, hypervisor, or cloud. Carbonite Availability is made up of two components, a server component and a client component. The server component acts as the replication engine and management framework. It is installed on both the source and target servers with Carbonite Availability. Because it is a true peer-to-peer service, data transmission will occur only between these two servers. The second component of the solution is the client console. This is the user interface shown here. It can be used to set up, manage, and failover jobs, as well as to check statuses. For disaster recovery, Carbonite typically recommends the console be installed at the recovery location, since that is intended to be the surviving site. However, the console can be installed on as many devices as desired, since it is not licensed. The software itself can be installed in multiple ways. The console can be used to push software to a machine. To do this, simply add your server to the list of servers in the console, provide it with admin privileges, and click Add Server to send the software to that machine. The software can also be installed locally by copying the exe file and executing it on the server. The software is installed in only a few clicks after following the prompts. After installing the software, we can configure it by adding it to the console. Begin by selecting an example machine, called FFO Source here, right-clicking and then selecting Protect. There are three basic options for protection with Carbonite Availability. First, files and folders allow users to move data only from one server to another server. Admins should note that this option does not include system state protection. The other two options are full server, like-to-like, lift and shift options. As long as the two machines are running a similar OS, installed applications and device types may differ. A full server failover transfers source applications, the OS, and data across the wire in real time. When the failover button is hit, the target machine effectively becomes the source machine. Finally, Carbonite Availability offers a full server to Hyper-V or ESX option. This is very similar to the full server option, except in this instance we are provisioning a virtual machine based on the source server that is only turned on at the time of failure. Now that we've seen the various types of availability options, let's walk through a full server setup. First, select a target server. This is a one-to-one scenario, which will now bring up a list of preset options for configuring a failover. It's important to note here that nothing will fail over unless an admin clicks a button. Carbonite Availability is also capable of providing local area network and wide area network failovers out of the box. This allows for failing over to cloud networks where a computer's details should be preserved, but network configurations are to be left alone. Admins may also wish to switch the roles of source and target servers. These are requirements for set IP addresses, which allows the solution to understand which data should go where. The solution also allows for alternate recovery points, essentially snapshots which occurred on the target. In this case, snapshots are scheduled to be taken once per day. Admins may also choose to enable compression or bandwidth throttling. These settings are useful on business networks where traffic may need to be minimized during working hours. While Carbonite enables byte-level replication designed to avoid saturating networks, it's also meant to migrate data quickly and in the exact order it was written to the disk. Once settings have been appropriately configured, it's time to review the setup. While reviewing, note that green circles mean conditions have been met. Yellow items may require more attention but will not prevent a failover. Red items will prevent failover until addressed. For the purpose of this demonstration, a full server failover has been set up. It can be accessed through the Jobs window. We can see the selected job here, confirm the replication took place, and that the system is being protected. Admins can also check recovery point latency to understand how far along data is. That concludes our demonstration of a full server migration. We can now look at an example of a full server to ESX migration. It's very similar, but points to a virtual environment instead of a target server. We're still pointing to a target, but in this case, it's a virtual machine. An admin should then specify what vCenter is running the virtual machine. This is how Carbonite communicates to the environment to build out the replica. As with a full server job, we can now configure our settings. I'll touch on a few that are relevant to failing over to virtual environments. Admins can specify the size of the virtual disk desired and the form factor in which replicas are created. The configuration of the machine in terms of CPU, memory, and disk can also be set from this window. Carbonite also provides non-disruptive test failover. This allows admins to test failovers on a clone machine without disrupting operational environments. After clicking Next, we are once again brought to a summary page where we can check for any issues. For this demonstration, I will now return to previously configured jobs to demonstrate a failover. Back in the Jobs tab, I can select a job and perform a failover for either of the two jobs we've just created. I will now select and initiate a failover to the virtual infrastructure we've just set up. This opens a pop-up with failover options. An admin can choose to failover to live data, perform a test, or failover to a snapshot. Make a selection and then click Failover to initiate. We can now verify that the failover command has shut down the source machine. Now, within the virtual machine client, notice that a replica is available. We see here that the full machine has been recreated and has become active in less than 3 minutes. Carbonite availability enables you to have virtually no downtime or data loss and to meet compliance SLAs, reducing the risk associated with planned and unplanned events. This concludes our demonstration of Carbonite availability. Thank you for watching.